Take one.
The Ghostbusters, come on out!
Real Ghostbusters, weekdays at 4:30 on TV 22.
RCA Columbia presents The Real Ghostbusters. 6 frighteningly funny episodes now on video for you to buy and keep.
There's something strange in the neighborhood.
So who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Each sold separately.
Have no fear. Venkman, Stantz, and Spengler are here. So are these ghosts. They've got ectoplasm. We've been gooned. Now what? Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Let's show this pile of dessert who's boss. Activate Neutrino Blaster. We ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Peter Venkman, Ectoplasm, Stay Puft Marshmallow, and other figures each sold separately. Ghostbusters, new from Kenner. Ghostbusters!
Who's there? Oh, the Wolfman monster! Run! Safe. It's Fearsome Flush! Sick 'em, guys! I flip my lid when he's scared.
The real Ghostbusters, each sold separately. Ghostbusters!
We're here! So are we. The Frankenstein and Dracula monsters! Get 'em, boys! Ghosts! Funny guy, watch him scream!
The real Ghostbusters, each sold separately.
And cost a fortune. But welcome. Welcome to my guests. We have Ben.
Good evening, everybody.
And Tony.
Hello.
You've got a Welshman, Englishman, almost Scotsman, and an Irishman.
Start of a joke.
It's not going to get any better. But welcome, gentlemen. And 3 experts in the field of real Ghostbusters, apparently.
Well, I won't go that far.
Oh, fuck.
Well,
the wrong ones again.
It was one of those shows that I think it stood the test of time. You know what I mean? It's as far as this kind of stuff goes. I look back at all this kind of stuff in rose tinted glasses. But the predominant 99% of this kind of stuff from this era doesn't hold up. Real Ghostbusters does massively. You know what I mean? It's one of those that when you look back at it now as an adult, you can see how well animated it is, how well scripted it is, how well acted it is. It holds up that well that I'm still obsessed with it. You know what I mean? So it's. And not everything's like that, you know what I mean? There's only a handful of stuff from around 85, 86 that holds up as good as this does. And it's few and far between. But I think because of the writing and because of the voice actors that they got in for this, it holds up really, really well. I don't know about you guys, but you know what I mean? I've always been a Ghostbusters fan. Hence all this crap behind me here, and you know what I mean? Fucking tattoos and all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? But there was a good filler between Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2, and you get a lot of filler. You know what I mean? In certain IPs. But the thing was with Real Ghostbusters was it wasn't just a filler; it was a complete carry on. It was a complete story that ran from the first film that takes you right into the second film and doesn't miss a beat. It's seamless how it works, and it takes the characters from the first film, it puts them into a sort of new light and a new perspective till you get the characters from the second film that slightly vary from the first film but are slap bang in the middle of the Real Ghostbusters universe, and it just works really well. You know what I mean? It works really, really well.
Indeed. So, yes, we're talking about the Real Ghostbusters, not Ghostbusters, which also came out that year as an animation.
It did, yeah.
We'll say hi to first. Who are you going to call? Says Ian. Welcome. Now this is my jam.
Nice.
Now we got the Frightfully Forgotten. Welcome. Nice to see you guys here. Wasn't it also Vigo the Butch? Now. Oh, Ian's lowered the tone. We're making our own extra for those days.
Hey, but
As in, like,
Nice.
as in making flour and water, wasn't it?
yeah, I was just going to say, yeah.
Oh, Cannondale Top Cat's got a DVD of the Real Ghostbusters. We'll get to the media in a minute. The first 2 seasons stood the test of time. The Dave Coulier seasons can fuck off. Someone's an expert. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, again, we can get into that in a bit, but
Yeah.
it's
there's a lot of backstabbings in this one. I work with, but not many. Thank you. Yes, Peter Venkman, Michael Myers. What is this? A slumber party? Always room for Jello, whatever Jello is.
yeah.
80s was the golden era cartoons. There's so many. The list is vast. Well, it's Centurions at the top, of course.
No, to be fair, I mean, Centurions holds up pretty well. Considering it was a Hanna-Barbera show, holds up really well.
I'm with Tony. This is one of those 80s shows that does stand the test of time. And despite the other fucking stuff that was around at the time, which were, let's be honest, were glorified toy commercials, okay? But you had the writing of Michael J. Straczynski, one of the best fucking sci-fi writers out there. And that's one of the reasons this series holds up for the most part. There is a couple of speed bumps along the way.
There is.
It was also quite a good
Yes, I
concept.
brought in the big.
Condensing all these stories down into like 25 minutes or so.
Yeah.
You can pretty much go anywhere with Ghosts. You can come up with so many different versions of Ghosts, whether or not they're like spirits or like just loads of evil slimers or, big ones, small ones, possessing people. The variations they had was quite vast looking back on it, having watched a lot of them recently and also remembering a lot of them from ITV. But yeah, it's the perfect concept for Ghostbusters. And I think if the franchise wants to continue on, this is the way to do it. Do a little mini series where it's like 25-minute episodes and everyone's going in. They do a mission every week. It doesn't have to be an hour-long spectacle. It could just be a 25-minute adventure, and it works.
Yeah.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah, really well.
Let's have a look. We got the Movie Massacre shows here. Welcome. This is his favorite franchise as well. He's got the two in a box arriving soon. We be fast, they be slow. Yes, Ghostbusters and what's the other name it was? Because
Ghost Stoppers.
Ghost Stoppers, yeah. Which doesn't
quite
really work now. It doesn't really work, does it, when you look back at it now? Do you know what I mean?
It does not.
But they did need a chimp in the team in the 84 film. Solving crime. Oh, and first bad joke of the evening goes to David Carroll. Invisible Man sleeping in your bed. Who are you going to call? Prince Andrew.
I thought we were going to keep it clean.
In fairness, he doesn't sweat, so he'll be able to he'll be able to survive. No bother.
I'm not going to do an ectoplasm. There's the only thing left behind.
Hey!
Yes,
Someone
filmation.
wanted to blow their nose and you want to keep it, honestly.
Visionaries for the win, says Ian. Oh, not sure about that.
Yeah, see, I like Visionaries. I've got a soft spot for Visionaries, but the actual writing to the show is horrendous. It's awful.
Ken from Budgie, the helicopter looked like Ray from the Real Ghostbusters. Yes. Ray from the Real Ghostbusters is based on, was it Louis Anderson or someone? Or a bit podgy and a bit younger. He was the.
Well, they don't look anything like the live action counterparts. And I think there must have been some sort of license.
There was a license.
You can't draw Harold Ramis, you can't draw Bill Murray or Dan Aykroyd. Just basically keep the names, just don't keep their identity there.
I still think it's very shitty though what happened fucking Ernie Hudson.
Yes.
It's like you didn't sound Winston enough. He played the fucking dude in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, so he turns up to voice his own character from the film, and they say, "Sorry, Ernie, you're not the man we're looking for." You know what I mean? He's like, "What? I'm a fucking actor."
Right.
No. But there's been many an actor in many of the parts because was it Arsenio Hall was in the first 91 episodes.
Yeah.
But then what is it? Bumper? No, that's next. Buster Jones It's in the last 49 or in the middle somewhere.
It was sheer fucking racism, dude. You're dead right. It was because the thing was that Ernie Hudson was a fantastic voice actor. He'd done Super Friends, he'd done Transformers.
Yeah.
He was trained. He was classically fucking trained. He had a cadence about him, and he didn't sound like the stereotypical black guy they wanted for the fucking show. So that's why I think RC it was racist reasons. They wanted this kind of buckwheat fucking jive talking character instead of someone who had great cadence, which fucking Ernie Hudson did. And it's an absolute shit show. He didn't get that gig.
Yeah. But Arsenio got it in the end. Not that we ever got that show over here. The only thing I knew him from was Coming to America and Harlem Nights is the only things I know him from, really. And this.
Martial Law alongside Sammo Hung. That was the only other show he did. That was a few years later.
Ah, yes. Bless him. But yes, it was completely planned to be on the birthday of Harold Ramis. Of course it was. I always plan all these things. But how many Peter Venkmans we get? 2 voicing Peter Venkman. Lorenzo Muzak, of course, who did Garfield. And then Bill Murray then went on to do the voice of Garfield in the film.
Yeah.
See, that was very weird because I remember when I went to watch Ghostbusters Afterlife in the cinema, before the film started, I saw a trailer for the new Garfield movie. So here I am watching a new Ghostbusters film. I see a trailer for a new Garfield movie, and there's an actor who played Peter and Garfield previously. I mean, how weird's that? Such a weird coincidence.
Yeah. I mean Lorenzo, to be fair, I mean, there probably wasn't a harder working guy at that particular time. You know what I mean? He was voicing everything, sort of cartoon wise. He did loads of stuff that, you know what I mean? He did 2 characters in Darkwing Duck. You know what I mean? He was doing all kinds of stuff. If you look at his sort of like voice acting career, he did more in animation than he did in anything else.
Yeah.
It was a voice recognized all the time.
Oh yeah, really distinctive voice. Yeah, really distinctive voice. He was also Zummy and Gummy in Gummy Bears.
Tailspin and
yeah,
Darkwing Duck, as you said, Garfield and Friends. Every Garfield show up until the 94.
Yeah, I think he did all the holiday specials. I think that's where it started off originally. Was the 12 TV specials for Garfield that he did, and then he got the gig of the first TV series when it came out.
Yeah. Is that true? Garfield goes to somewhere? Yeah, Garfield in Disguise, Garfield on the Town, Garfield. And No Heavenly Dog.
Yeah.
That classic. Frank Welker and was it Maurice LaMarche were the only ones that did all 140 episodes.
Mm.
Yeah, the man,
Janine's
Frank
only on
Welker.
78. Yes.
Yeah. You say that name to anybody and they'll be like, who the hell's that? But then you say, I guarantee you've heard him. I mean, he's got a list a mile long on IMDb. Like, the work that guy's done is just extraordinary. You know, so many voice acting he's done.
Yeah, everything from Gremlins and to Transformers and everything.
Doing that sort of very low voice, and he could do the very high pitched voice for Slimer. I mean, the guy had range. I mean, it's unbelievable. You wouldn't think that Optimus Prime and Slimer were the same voice.
Yeah. Yes. And I got a confession. I hate the Slimer in the animated series.
Right.
It's Prince.
I had to do it.
Yeah,
he was the star of the show.
He wasn't as bad. He wasn't as bad as, say, the likes of Orko or Snarf. But he was fair fucking annoying.
Because, he doesn't actually talk. He doesn't really say any words. He's kind of just there. He's just hungry all the time. He's not really doing anything wrong. I mean, most of these shows did have the annoying little side character that would, like, shout along.
Exactly.
They all did it. But I think Slimer is probably the more tolerable ones. You know, he's just... He's not a bad ghost. He just wants to stuff his face all day. That's all he wants to do. But I understand he can be a bit annoying.
Yeah, I mean, the inclusion of him as a sort of like side character like that, like a lot of these other shows are doing, was clever enough that everyone knew who he was. You know what I mean? Straight off the bat, you didn't have to try and introduce him anywhere. Everybody knows who Slimer is. but also the character was good enough that, for a bit of a pun, wasn't fleshed out. You know what I mean? They didn't need to do anything with him. You know what I mean? Like you said, they didn't need to. You know what I mean? Yes, he got some of his own storylines. Yes, he became a focal point at the end when shit starts going sideways with this stuff. When he gets his name plonked in front of the actual show when it goes into syndication. You know what I mean? Fucking Slimer in the real Ghostbusters. Hold on a minute. You know what I mean?
He's not leading the fucking team.
No, the first two seasons he's actually been in it. You know what I mean? All of a sudden he's running the show. Yeah. But he's a straight up recognizable character. You know what I mean? For how much screen time he actually gets in the first film. You know what I mean? As a companion character, it works quite well.
And they did carry over that ongoing story of from the film, that the fact that he was the one who slimed Peter, there's a constant sort of annoyance of him annoying Peter throughout the whole shows. And
just sliming him constantly. Yeah.
Yes, was he called Onion Head in the original film and behind the scenes?
Yeah.
That sounds better. Onion Head and the few Ghostbusters. Much more. Now, someone said earlier it wasn't about selling toys, but they're sitting there with a bunch of toys.
I did it. Look, call me Captain Hypocrite. You know me, I'm a figure guy. And Kenner, I love the real Ghostbusters line. A lot of people give the line shit because they think the figures are too fragile, or they think the kind of scare feature wave is too gimmicky, or the ghost house is too plain. I think it's fucking cool for what came out. It's you have like the TV show, you have these really cool fucking designed kind of toys and figures, and it's just imagination. Your imagination gets run wild, just like the show, just like all the fucking ghosts were all kind of I mean, here we have a haunted fucking toilet. I mean, how can you not like a line that has a toilet that can kill people? I mean, what's not to like?
Yeah, because was it? Ian's boasting that he's still got the real Ghost Zapper gun projector toy that I wanted back in the day.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
I'll give you £5 for that with your paying postage. But a very nice toilet, yes. So I don't think I had any of them. May have aged out by then.
Yeah, I had a bit of the first wave of stuff that came out as a kid. I did enjoy them as a toy. You know what I mean? It's not something I gravitated to massively, even though I did like the show. It wasn't something as a toy line that grabbed me instantly. Like I say, I remember having a couple of figures, and I remember having some stuff off I don't know if it'd have been the second or the third wave stuff. Like you've got the haunted toilet. What was the American football player that bent over backwards and like
tackle?
Yeah.
That was the haunted humans wave that the granny comes from.
I remember the granny.
But like I say, I think that's one thing that they got right, was that every ghost, demon, ghoul, no matter what it was, the particular show was about, that episode was about, they always seem to work. And some of the sort of bad guys and villains that they brought along with them were like shit your pants scary for kids, really. You know what I mean? It's like so good, so well thought out and well written. That in fairness, if this show was brought back as a TV show now, those characters could quite easily be used. You know what I mean? It's a weird one, really. That like we got no Ghostbusters stuff for years, and obviously, you know what I mean. There was like numerous scripts written in God knows how long after Ghostbusters 2 that we didn't get anything animated sort of before the films that have come out recently. Because as a franchise, it's still huge. As an IP, it was still massive, but yet there was just this massive drought on anything. It was just quite bizarre. So from not to do another cartoon, which would probably filter a small hole for that particular time, and just left the franchise like it was, it's slightly odd. It's, you know what I mean? If people know the the story from like we was talking about before, the reason behind the real Ghostbusters is called the real Ghostbusters. Obviously, Filmation had a show out.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Aha.
So now that's Filmation's version of Ghostbusters. Now, Filmation owned the rights to the name Ghostbusters, and it was a TV show from, was it the 60s?
Yeah,
the original TV show
back in the 60s.
Live action shows. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, when they came to get the rights for the films, and obviously they struck up a deal with Filmation to get it, they must never have incorporated anything to do with an animated show later on. And Filmation weren't stupid. There was a bit of a power race at the company at the time. Realised that, hold on a minute, we can cash in on this. we can still own the name at an animated level. Bang something out, get something out. And to be fair, a lot of people shit on this show, and it's not as bad as what people make out. It's not a bad show. It's typical Filmation. It's full of stock footage, just fucking full of it. It's all over it constantly. But the show's still pretty good. It's still pretty enjoyable. It feels like early Filmation. It feels like late Hanna-Barbera kind of stuff. Hence, when they decided to do an animation show for Ghostbusters, they had to whack the word real in front of it just to sort of get round this whole thing. But it still didn't take anything away from the show itself. Everybody knows the characters. Everybody knew. You know what I mean? It was quite clever to put the word real in front of it, because you know what I mean. It's as an IP when everybody went crazy for the franchise.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean, being a little bit starved of content after the first film, it made sense to do an animated show.
Yeah. The first year, was it 86?
86, yeah.
To 91. And then I think Kenner stopped doing toys in 91 as well, around the same time.
It ran for a while, the toys.
They did. They ran for maybe a couple of years after. Maybe they might have just peaked into 92, but 91, that was, I think, the kind of death throes of that toy line.
Yeah. So, Ben, when did you first watch it as the youngest in the group?
It was probably around, probably not long after the premiere of the first film. I remember it being around sort of maybe 87 or maybe 88, I think. It was on CITV during the week. And then I think after that, it must have broadcasted on Saturday mornings on ITV.
Yeah.
It was always on ITV, I know that. But I'm pretty sure I saw the first film on the premiere, which was Boxing Day 87. And then I'm pretty sure the animation was not far behind that. So maybe early 88. Yeah, around that time. But it was always on CITV, guaranteed. It was always on there.
Yeah. I can't remember if it was morning or afternoons I saw it. I think it was afternoons. I saw it.
Yeah, that's where I remember it really coming from, was CITV. Because obviously after series 2, I think it went to syndication.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So at that point, then obviously they've sold it off to about 65 countries, and everybody's bought into it. Was it a CBS show? I can't remember who actually put it out in the States.
Yeah,
I got CBS in the back of my head, but it might not be.
Deke were the ones who.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, apparently, different companies did the animation for some series. So the better episodes were better animated, or the better storied episodes. I've heard somewhere.
Yeah, I mean that happened a lot. You know what I mean? There was so much of this stuff being churned out that probably one production house couldn't do the whole lot. Transformers G1 was the biggest culprit for that. You know what I mean? There was about 3 animation studios working on that at some times, and you get the US stuff and it looked like shit, and then you get the Japanese stuff and it looked fantastic, but it was always out of context. You know what I mean? Transformers were wrong colors from one character to another, and so that stuff happened on a regular basis. You'd always get different animation studios cropping up with their own things. But as a kid, did you really take notice? I've only took notice recently.
No.
Yeah. But you only sort of notice once you start delving into it more, and as you know what I mean, older eyes on it. As a kid, I was just enthralled to be watching something within that universe.
Yeah.
Did it get to Ireland, Marty?
The one thing that kind of struck me when I watched it, there was a bit of a deviation in episode quality in season 3. For example, the Boogeyman is back, episode 7 of season 3. The opening animation is the same fucking quality as the opening credits, and I'm like, wait, I just watched fucking 6 episodes of crap, and they decided this out. It was just bizarre to me, but I think I originally saw this show. There's an Irish kind of equivalent to CBBS called The Den. It was hosted by 2 aliens that later turned up on Big Breakfast called Zig and Zag. I fucking adored that. And for my 6th Christmas, I got the original. This is my original Ecto 1. I got the Ecto 1, but I got a bunch of the Fright feature Ghostbusters, and the balls of the tin was their helmets were too big, so I couldn't get into the fucking car. They were too fucking big for the car. I was like, but I put them all in the back and just drove them around. But no, I loved that show growing up. Again, the imagination and whoever, I'd say the artists had a field day coming up with designs for Ghosts. As Tony said, it's just fucking absolute smorgasbord of what you can do with a character or a creature.
Yeah, because a lot of them weren't ghosts. It was like the what's it called, the Sandman. There was animations that come to life and all sorts of, and then whatever they could think of that wasn't ghosts that they could blast.
Yeah, I mean the Sandman one's like relatively scary if you break that down as a character. Yeah, that could really be a film. You know what I mean? Why have they never picked the idea of that up and ran with that? You know what I mean? Because it would make for a good film. The character itself is a really good villain, really good bad guy. I don't know whether they thought it was too close to some other ideas or, you know what I mean, other things that had been previous. I really don't know. But as an idea, as a concept of a villain, it worked brilliantly.
Like in episode 14, Knock Knock, where the subway, they open up, very Lovecraftian episode. They find a gateway to hell. All the fucking trains become possessed, and they look like something out of John Joito. They look like something out of Spiral. It's like, Jesus Christ, these things are terrifying.
Movie Massacre saying Murray the Mantis. I was looking at Sam Hain as well, or Saman or whatever. It is. What's the correct pronunciation, Marty?
Samhain. It's Samhain, for fuck's sake.
No, I've seen Halloween too. It's Sam Hain.
Jesus.
But there is an episode, is it season 2, where it shows what happened after the first film?
That's Citizen Ghost.
Yeah.
It's season 1,
Citizen
episode
Ghost.
11.
Yes, I do remember seeing that one originally.
I think I remember.
The only time you see them wearing the old uniforms, and they're covered in marshmallow as they're walking in.
Yeah.
Janine says, "I've got your new uniforms, guys," because Egon was saying we need to go with these. There's too much ectoplasm on them, or too much PKV stuff on them, and you see how they got the new uniforms. Yeah, and the whole roof's missing off the firehouse as well.
Yeah.
So Gozer is referenced.
Yeah, I like that. I like the fact they didn't have to do that episode because off the bat, but they took the time to give an explanation to why they've got different uniforms and why the fuck Slimer is on the team. I thought that was
you find out why he's there.
Yeah.
Now, so I said it ended in 91, but that wasn't the end of the Ghostbusters because, as William Massacre says, Extreme Ghostbusters. Does anyone like that? I don't think I
loved that. I thought that was a cool show. I liked it.
I don't remember ever seeing it on free to air. It might have been on Sky, maybe, or Nickelodeon, but I don't remember seeing it on ITV or BBC.
No, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember it. And I think for me at that particular time when Extreme Ghostbusters was come out, I got to the age of I was probably too old You know what I mean? And I'd started watching other things or doing other things. So I've never really caught it. I know of the show. You know what I mean? It's out there, but no, it never really captured the imagination for me. Because, like I say, I was just too old at that time.
It is worth checking out. I mean, it has a solid fan base because they've incorporated those characters into the IDW comics. Some of the stories were pretty fucking mature as well. For example, there's this synagogue that's been attacked by racists. So the rabbi's son brings to life a golem, and it's the design of the golem is the same golem from the classic silent movie. And I was like, Jesus, that's fucking spot on. That was awesome. And they still had the freaky looking ghosts and stuff, but they done messages and kind of topics, not in a patronizing kind of way. They didn't talk down to the kids. They actually said, look, this is shit that can affect people. And I like that. And that was clever writing as well on their part.
Okay, because according to the list, Maurice LaMarche was back as Egon Spengler for 40 episodes. Billy West was Slimer for 40 episodes. Janine's in it, but it's by Pat Music. I think that's it. Peter Venkman, Dave Coulier was back as Movie Masters for the final episode. The old original team came back. Finally forgotten. Big fans of Extreme Ghostbusters. Finally got a DVD release, and it suffered from bad timing because it was really good, dark, and smart. There you go. And apparently, it was on ITV. Yes. People saying it's on after.
Missed that.
I was running something, so I was waiting for neighbours to come on. I had Cenobites and Killer Clowns in it. It was awesome. Yeah, not bad for 40 episodes in 1 year. But how do you rate because the look of the Ghostbusters, they changed Egon's hair to blonde, and then the original guy wasn't supposed to do an impression of what's his name?
Harold
Ramis, but he did anyway.
You can hear it, yes.
Yeah.
Of all of them, he sounds amazing. Because like every time I hear Venkman, I just hear Garfield.
Yes.
And Ray and Winston are just other characters. That's what I can do.
Yeah. Does anyone remember Walter Peck showing up in one episode?
He is listed there. I didn't see him.
Yeah. Because I do remember seeing it originally, and I was trying to find it on YouTube. It appears to be geo-blocked, so I couldn't watch it. But yeah, he appears in Big Trouble with Little Slimer. That's the episode he's in.
Right.
A screenshot of him. I mean, this is what he looks like on the thing. So they drew him pretty
cool. Yeah.
That's a good one.
So they probably looked at William Atherton and thought, we've got to draw him as he is, but without a beard, just a mustache. Yeah. And he does come back for revenge because, he said, I'm going to get the Ghostbusters for what they did to me. And it's a good episode. There you go, Dicklin.
I know he was in it, guys, but I haven't seen the one with Lewis. Lewis turns up.
There's supposed to be 23 episodes or something.
Missed them.
I didn't get to them either.
No.
Lewis Tully is in 23 episodes.
Really?
Yeah, because he got two figures in the line. He got two actual action figures.
Right.
Kenner line.
I never knew that.
Show me the episodes. No, I didn't until I saw this one earlier today. But there's been some other celebrities. There's James Avery from Fresh Prince, his booming voice, and others. Who else did I see just then? I thought it was Robert Ito from Quincy. Yeah, one of my favorites. Walter Koenig from Star Trek. They don't. Yeah, that's about uncredited ones we get. Tony, no, don't know him. I was gonna say to someone else. I can't read for shit. Adrian Barbeau is in one episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not that I'd recognize her. I see her next year. I will ask her. But might go. Yes. First question: were you in Ghost or Ghostbusters?
Yeah. Do you remember that time when you was in the real Ghostbusters?
There you go. It was really lazy when Lewis Tully arrived because according to the trivia, was if I could bring it back up. Despite the series being an acclaimed hit on Saturday morning during its first season, ABC Network executives hired a consulting firm called Q5 to take over production so they could help fix the show from season 2 onward. Q5 and the proxy ABC then forced the writing staff and our department to make controversial changes to the series based on their own ideas in the hopes that the show would appeal to younger audiences. Some of the changes include overhauling characters into entirely different personas, replacing voice actors, removing occult references, re-editing the first season episodes so they would tie in line with the Q5 changes, and making Slimer the main character so he'd have his spin-off 1988 one. Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters would be better received by children, apparently.
Anything else?
Yeah.
It's like
well, the new outlines were so severe and destructive that story editor and frequent series writer J. Michael immediately quit out of protest before the ratings fell to low numbers. And when the ratings did fall, ABC then begged him to come back and restore the show to its former prominence, while they still tried to keep most of Q5's outlines unchanged. Straczynski only agreed to return if he specifically undo the changes that were made to the Janine character, and only if Q5 edicts, I guess that's a word, were kept entirely away from the episodes he'd be working on. Yet, despite those demands being agreed to, the show never recovered and was ultimately cancelled.
You can really tell the ones he worked on, because like they'd be shitty episode, then fucking corker of an episode, then shitty episode again. So it was like what the fuck is this bipolar? Is this series bipolar?
It's crazy to hear all that detail when, as a kid, you wouldn't have known any of that was going on.
No, none. Yeah, zero. Yeah.
There's an episode where they watch the Ghostbusters movie.
Yes. The opening credits are at the very end of the episode. Basically, the guys are on a movie set trying to bust a ghost while there's a movie being made about them, and they finally go to see it, and you get the opening credits with the library. About 3 frames of the library, and that's it. So
that's what you get back with those days, I guess. But yeah, I seem to remember the one based on them. And what's that? Season 1 had Citizen Ghosts, where Peter and the Ghostbusters that's the one with the old costumes come back to life because they weren't disposed of because ghost residue on it or whatever it's supposed to be. But there's some clever ones. But yeah, it was 23 minutes episode. It's got a 1-minute intro, it's opening titles, that's with the sort of theme tune from the film. And then there's the idents halfway through where it says Ghostbusters will be back in a few minutes, and then you come to Ghostbusters now returns. Then you get another 30, 45 seconds or maybe a minute for the end titles. So there's not much in there.
I love those idents in the middle, because that would be really funny. The ghost trying to cut his way out of the fucking stop sign. He put away the saw. He's like, oh shit. That's just really fun.
But yes, I've got the one proper VHS, it's a cardboard box. So it probably came free with a magazine or something, I think.
I love that fucking poster as well. I love the poster in the back.
I remember that poster being coming out. Focus. I still got one episode. Adventures in Slime and Space.
Yeah.
And I've got this double video. Real Ghostbusters and Jumanji cartoon. But 4 action-packed episodes. But that doesn't say what they are. But there we go. That's my lot.
The VHS line was put out by Hollywood Children's Collection, so Parkfield stuff. So
that's the one I wanted. That's the one I was renting.
So that's the first one. That's volume 1. There's 10 of these altogether, and they've all got individual artwork. Which the artwork is, if I can get it close to that camera.
Oh, yeah, I love that artwork.
The artwork's phenomenal.
In the background.
Yeah, and there's 2 episodes to each tape. Now the 10 episodes, the 10 tapes that are available, one of those tapes, I've never looked which one, must have 3 episodes on it, because there's 13 episodes in the first series. So if majority of the tapes have only got 2 episodes on, there's one tape out of these 10 that's got 3. And I don't know which one it is. But that was sort of my introduction to sort of seeing it in video shops or buying it on sell through, like that. And then bizarrely in the UK, and I don't know why, after the end of the day, the show was syndicated. It was a syndicated show. We hardly got any proper releases of it. So we got the complete series 1 on a really shitty DVD. Oops. That one. And I never liked the artwork on this. I think it's just lazy and cheap.
That's DVDs for you.
Yeah, but then the back on it, and I think it's a two disc edition. So all 13 episodes are on those 2 discs. There is no special features on it. There's no nothing. It's just that's it. We'll just see on the front. 2 disc set with over 4 hours of fun and slam. Who you gonna call? The Ghostbusters complete first season. So that was it. And then we ended up with these 2 weird releases, which I think, because they've been standalone VHS releases at some point, they're porting them over to DVD. So you get Adventures in Slam and Space on this one, but there's 4 episodes on this one, but they don't make any sense because they're just picked from anything and thrown on. There's no, you know what I mean? There's no continuity with them. They're just thrown on. So on those, if you can see in here, you get Adventures in Slam and Space, Ghostbusted, Knock Knock, and Venkman's Ghost Repellers on that one. And then another one got released with 4 episodes on called Sea Fright, which is like, I think this is the cheapest DVD out of the lot now. You can find this anywhere for about 50p. And then on that one, you get The Spirit of Aunt Lewis, Beneath These Streets, Sea Fright, and Ragnarok and Roll. The episodes on them. So we get all the series 1, like a mishmash of bits and bats off series 2, and then that's it. Like, we just don't get anything else, which I find completely bizarre, really. You know what I mean? Because Sony released the first one. I don't know who released the other ones. Columbia TriStar released the others. And just find it bizarre that there's a complete release in Germany. There's a complete release in the US. I mean, if any collectors watching this, or any of you guys, the best collection I've ever seen, complete collection, is the Time. Oh, what they called now, that one. They did the complete Firehouse. So the actual housing to all the discs is in the Firehouse. Was it Time Warner? It could have been a Time Warner release in the US. Damn thing just goes for stupid money now. It's like ridiculous. You just want to want. You know what I mean? There won't be much change out of 300 quid on one of these now. And I think there's something daft in it, like 27 discs. You get the complete Firehouse. There's I don't even know what they are. They look like lobby cards kind of things in there. There's a book in there. There's a documentary in there. There's all kinds of stuff in it. And as a definitive edition, I think it's about the only complete definitive edition there's ever been. Because I know that the Blu-ray that came out in Germany is standard definition on Blu-ray. So they crammed everything in onto a lot of discs, but didn't do anything with it. There's no upscale to it or anything. There's no remaster on it. So basically, they're just taking the original DVDs and just cramming them onto a Blu-ray just so they can fit more on there. But there's nothing on. There's no sort of special features on it or anything. And that's about it. You know what I mean? It's bizarre that a show that's so big, and obviously that was owned by Sony, had so little stuff, home release put out for it. It's bizarre.
So Sony are bonkers though with their releases. I can buy my disc. I have one single disc from Extreme Ghostbusters. It came in a gatefold. You know those fucking shitty gatefold things with Ghostbusters 1, 2, and Extreme Ghostbusters, like 5 episodes. And I'm like, what the fuck was the point of this? And I'm like, would you not make like a dedicated? I've searched wide and far. It's probably out there. It's probably region 1 or something like that. But I cannot, for the life of me, find a complete set of Extreme Ghostbusters.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah, I mean, the real Ghostbusters now, if anybody wants to check it out, if you've never seen it or anything, in its entirety is now up on YouTube. Yeah. And it's officially up on YouTube. It's not just somebody who's trying to rip it and throw it up there. It's officially on there, which is, it's brilliant. It's good to go back. And there's more and more companies doing this kind of thing now. There's more and more shows like this popping up on YouTube, being officially released. I mean, Christ, G.I. Joe, it just runs 24/7. It just never goes off. You can't even choose an episode for the G.I. Joe. You go to the G.I. Joe channel, it's just constantly streaming. You know what I mean? It just never stops. But it's good to go back to this kind of stuff. And it's good, I suppose, for a younger audience that's getting into this kind of stuff now, with obviously the previous films. It's good for them to go back and check out. You know what I mean? I'm really surprised that nobody, animation studios picked something up now because of the hype that was off the back of the last couple of films. You know what I mean? He's probably set right up for a Netflix show. But you know what I mean? In true fashion, we'll probably have to wait another 10 years till we get something for it again. Probably. You know what I mean? But no, go on, man.
Carry on. No, carry on.
No, like I said, there has been other things come out over the years. You know what I mean? My love of annuals.
I was just looking at the annuals. That's what I was going to say. Has anyone got the annuals or had the annuals?
Yeah, so that's I always get confused because bizarrely they don't date any of these ones. So these were put out by Marvel UK. And if anybody is into comics or anything like that, you'll know that Marvel UK way surpassed anything that Marvel US did with sort of stuff like this. So if you're a Transformers fan, you really want Marvel UK's Transformer comics because they just trounced everything else. But yeah, so Marvel released obviously the real Ghostbusters annual. These are really good, unlike a lot of other annuals where you get sort of, I don't know, a lot of like fun activities and stuff like that in them. These were like just full of stories, like proper stories, and then sort of panel sections. Really, really good. I mean, this one as well, it's never been used, this one. It's absolutely mint. But, I mean, what was that? I mean, back in the day, that was like £4. So what does that equate to now? About £12 for an annual? You know what I mean? Fucking nuts. Yeah. But it like breaks down all the Ghostbusting equipment in there, and it's good because it breaks down the characters from the TV show. So I mean, they're really good. I think that was the first one, and then we get the second one.
There we go.
Nice.
And again, there's not as many pages in this one, but the format's pretty much the same. How to make your own prop.
I was going to say, is that in there?
Proton pack. Yeah, there you go. It shows you how to make a proton pack.
Proper Rapplers. People are selling for like $3,000.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just ludicrous now what Hasbro have done with that stuff. But there's like some stuff from a bit of a script from the film, and you can make some of your own masks. And well, they're cool, and I love an annual. It's quite a British thing, isn't it? You know what I mean? I talked to some American counterparts, and they just look at me in confusion when I talk about annuals. You know what I mean? But no, they're just fun, and you can still pick these up. You know what I mean? I picked these up really reasonable. A couple of quid each one on your local car boot sale or Facebook Marketplace. Don't be going to eBay because it's just full of nostalgia taxes. Just charge you through the notes of this kind of stuff. Yes. So just physically go out hunting for them. But yeah, the first one was £3.95. The second one was £4.50 when that came out.
Jesus.
I mean, Christ, I'm from the northwest of England. How did my parents afford £4.50 for an annual every year?
Remember that brother you thought you had?
It's like, it's crazy though. You know what I mean? If annuals were like £12 and £13 now, people just wouldn't buy them. It's ludicrous.
Yeah, that naughty movie massacre used crayon in his.
I think everyone's done that. I made shit.
Of course they have.
Made shit of an Action Force annual. Like as Tony was saying, there is a lot of life with comics and stuff. The IDW series, way before Marvel done their fuckery, done a really cool crossover with the movie Ghostbusters and the animated series Ghostbusters, and they went on to do Ghostbusters International. And the thing I liked was they brought some of the bad guys that were in the IDW comics were the action figures. They brought in Granny Gross. They brought in Tombstone Tackle. They brought in a whole host of characters that didn't make it into the cartoon, but were figures. And it's a fun kind of nostalgic romp. And if you like really clever writing, Dan Schoening does a wicked job on those IDW comics. So they're well worth checking out.
Nice.
Interesting. Okay.
Movie Massacre says there is a Netflix animation on its way.
There we go.
But will it be anime and ruin it?
I think if they keep it down the lines of what Netflix have done with the Masters of the Universe franchise, and they get a decent forerunner for it, there's no reason why it shouldn't work, because the 2 seasons of Masters of the Universe that came out, I really enjoyed them.
Thank you, Tony.
I thought it was really good.
Shit on that fucking series. It's a great.
Yeah,
that's a woke series I've heard.
It's absolute nonsense. It ties in with the original lore and picks up where the story finishes off fantastically. It's brilliant.
Okay.
Really good.
They even bring in villains from the live action Dolph Lundgren movie as well.
Yeah.
I fucking love that.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Mark Hamill voices Skeletor fantastically.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It all works. It works. It works that the show understands that its core fan base is now in the late 40s, early 50s, and it runs with it. You know what I mean? It doesn't try to be a kid's show. It tries to play straight at me. You know what I mean? And it works. It works brilliantly.
It was a stroke of genius, Tony. They got Lena Headey, Cersei Lannister, voicing Evelyn. And there's one scene where she just goes bollocks. I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, and I, you know what I mean. I quite like the fact that it doesn't evolve around He-Man for the most. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. He's a boring character, and if you go back to the original show, by Christ, it's shit. You know what I mean? It doesn't hold up.
So much homoeroticism you can make.
There is. There's only so much furry underpants I can watch. You know what I mean?
Archie's gonna get his fisto out in a minute.
Hey, drum. But no, like I say, I mean, obviously, stuff like this. Revelations is definitely worth watching if they can hit the mark with a Ghostbusters animated show like they've done with Revelations, or even like they did with the She-Ra show, the Princess of Power. I thought Netflix did a really good job with that, as well as if they can hit a balance of that kind of stuff with a show like this, they're onto a winner. You know what I mean? It's just please God, don't go down the lines of what they did with the Turtles animation.
Which one?
Yeah.
the newest one. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah,
it wasn't fun.
No. And the storyline isn't a bad storyline, but they just crammed about 500 characters in it. You know what I mean? And made it in an animation style that just made me want to vomit. It's like
only as bad as it was. At least it wasn't Thundercats Roar.
Oh, Joe!
Christ.
I remember that.
Yeah, that is bad.
It's not great. No.
But no, I mean, there's got to be somewhere there. I mean, I would imagine the animation team they've got at Netflix at the moment, or the animation team they are using at Netflix at the moment. I'd be very surprised if they don't pick this up, if they are doing a Ghostbusters show, because it was the stuff for Revelation was so slick. You know what I mean? It looked so good. They'd be crazy not to use that animation team.
So, what about some favorite episodes or characters, Ben?
Oh, geez, favorite characters. I mean, as I said, it was good to see Walter Peck come back for one episode. But in terms of the characters, I think Egon was probably portrayed the best from the films and the animation because he's always talking jargon. He's always on the job. He's got his PKV meter. He's always scanning for stuff. He's saying all the technical jargon. And he's still kind of like the leader, really. He's always like telling them, no, don't do this. It's too much power. We need to sort of adapt the proton packs for this. So he stays technical throughout the whole thing. And with Peter, it's kind of like, it's just Garfield. You hear that voice and it's kind of laid back, Murray.
Yeah, it's in New Jersey.
Winston. But overall, I think Egon is probably the one that they got right for the film and also for the animation show. Obviously, he looks very different, but it's pretty much the same character. He's doing all the technical stuff, and there is that romance between him and Janine, which they saw from the first film. That sort of, little tension they had, and they carried that over. And there was that one episode when they find a lamp, and then Janine rubs it, and then the genie comes out. She goes, "I want to fall in love with Egon," and then throughout the whole episode, Egon's got the hearts in his eyes, and then all of a sudden realised, no, got to kill this genie, got to get him in the trap, and then he's like, "What happened?" Yeah. So I'd say probably Egon. And also, I do like how the Ecto-1 gets used a lot. It's used up in pretty much every episode. They have to drive it. It does get stuck up a few times, and it might get possessed by something, as it did in Frozen Empire. But I just like how they're always on a mission. They're never sort of hanging around doing nothing. It's like there's a call in every episode there, or they're just coming back from a job. It's pretty much what they should be doing. Like firefighters, they're constantly out working every day.
Yeah, I think for me, character-wise, Winston out of the both films as a character, he's really good because he's not from the inner circle, so he's not a scientist. He's not somebody that believed. He was just somebody that was fucking wanting a job and would have took anything. He just doesn't care. He's just not bothered. And I think what they portray him as in the cartoon, in the TV show, that he's got more about him than that. There's one episode specifically about him, and I can't think of the name of the episode, but where he plays baseball.
Oh yeah,
I've seen that
one recently.
Yeah,
and playing for his soul or whatever it is.
He's playing baseball for his soul, and the whole episode's about him. There's none of the other characters in it until right at the very end, and it's really, really good. It gives you a bit of a breakdown on him. It tells you a little bit more about the character, about the stuff behind the character, because really you don't get to know him from the films. You know what I mean? You don't know what he's been up to prior to coming to the Ghostbusters, other than being unemployed. You know what I mean? That's about as much as you learn from him. So the way they incorporate him within the TV show, because like every other cartoon, it breaks a character down. That, you know what I mean? This is your strong character. This is your funny character. This is your action character. And like he is the character that sort of drives the storyline to a point, whereas he's the guy that's driving the car. He's the guy that's doing the work on Ecto-1. He's this guy where he doesn't fully understand what's going on around him, but he gets it from a real world point of view. Like from the streets point of view, he knows about things that he can incorporate into what he's doing. And I think that the show shows that. Yeah, I think it shows that really well. And again, the Janine character, the spin on the Janine character from the film that you recognise her in to the way she is in this, she's got this, like, I don't know what it really is, like an 80s pop punk kind of look. They completely like jazz her up massively. So by the time she appears in the second film, she looks exactly like she does from the cartoon, which is brilliant.
Yeah, because it's season 2, episode 12 is Janine Melnitz's Ghostbuster. So, but Marty, what do you like? All of them.
Probably my favorite character is Ray, because they tinker a bit with the Dan Aykroyd character, and they don't take him to the same level as Corky from Life Goes On, but Jesus Christ, they really lowered the fucking... I mean, there's a bit where they're trying to kind of lure the Sandman out, and he climbs into bed with a teddy and stuff. And,
Yeah.
okay, you wait here, we'll get it. Oh, can you read me a story? No, no, you're not a child. Just read me a story. Just one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. He's reading the story. He's like, can you get me a glass of milk? For God's sake. It's brilliant. I like it because he knows he's technical shit, but then he can turn into a giant man child on the time. And it's so fun. The episodes, like there are some great episodes as well, guys. As we were talking about before. Knock Knock, Citizen Ghosts is great. No One Comes to Lucasville. Has any of you seen that episode?
Where's that?
I think that's in the later season. But there's my favorite part is I kind of clocked there'd be werewolves in it. My favorite part is the vampires have the original citizens kept prisoner, and he goes downstairs and there's this Lon Chaney Jr. looking motherfucker, and you're like, oh, it's gonna go down when they let him out. So it's just it's another great episode. Sorry guys, I went on a tirade, but there's so many, and the majority of them are Michael J. Straczynski wrote a lot of them. They're fantastic episodes.
There is one more that I do remember. It's when they've had no ghost jobs for ages, and because they've wiped out all the ghosts, they have to become crime busters for a little bit, and they start actually going after the criminals. Does anyone remember that one?
Yes. They build the proton packs kind of turn into cages, or the proton beams turn into cages.
And they change the logo as well, don't they?
They do,
like
and
a bank robber face with the cross.
It's just weird. It's like, how the fuck did you not kill someone using those proton packs in a human being? Like they really went balls to the wall. Like there was a they took the piss out of the Simpsons. There was a Simpsons Family of Ghosts. There was another one where they busted the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future as well.
Yeah. I remember that one.
Christmas.
Yeah. But I'm looking through the list of directors. There's only 4 directors, apparently. Which I Will Minot, Richard Rayner, Stan Phillips, Masakazi Higouchi. But yeah. And then a lot of writers. Seem to be mostly different writers for many episodes. But Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd get characters recognition in each episode. But yeah, I don't recognize any writers, but then they're all animation ones.
The only other similarity I do remember is that obviously during the end credits, when you've got them doing the thing again there, that's the exact same thing they do in the music video, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. The same pose, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
But who's in here? Someone's Jimmy's here. Matt Puggle is here. For something strange in your neighborhood, you're probably in Wigan.
Hey!
Freddie Sedge is here. Larry's here, but we talked about that at the beginning, Larry. So you'll have to start again. There is a yes, because I watched that the other day. So they bust the ghosts at Christmas past, but spoilers, they have to put them back to make it all good again.
Yes.
Remember that one.
Clever idea. Stuff that I think is there a Sherlock Holmes reference, because it seems Arthur Conan Doyle's credited with one of the characters, but unless they bring Moriarty in like Star Trek does. I guess everything's fair game once it's out of date. But so Marty, you had in your video, was it last month now, characters in toys that didn't make it to the TV show, apparently.
Yeah, again, as
how
I said,
dare they?
No, it's just I think that it was cool. We got unique stuff, but we got the haunted humans and we got the fucking toilets. Shit, dead.
Don't break them.
But yeah, no, there is so many cool fucking figures that I think would have been really interesting to put into the animated show, like. The car that turns into a giant praying mantis, that's just fucking insane.
Yeah.
I'd love to
remember that. Yeah.
And again, they did make their way into the comics, but it's just I suppose they were already chock full of some fantastic creature designs that you didn't need to add anymore.
But we'll take this question. How does everyone feel about Frozen Empire?
Oh, let's see. I was fine with it. I mean, it didn't blow my socks off, but I'm glad I watched it in the cinema. But I don't think I'll buy it. I mean, I'll stream it again if it comes available on anywhere. But, overall, it was just kind of okay. It was sort of in the middle of the road. Not as good as Afterlife. It was like just okay. But I can understand why people were disappointed and certain aspects that people didn't like. But overall, it was okay. I was fine with it.
Marty?
I enjoyed it. I did think it was fucking hilarious that Bill Murray was just probably walking along set and someone went, "Pro, thank Christ! Quick, Bill, come on!" That's what it felt. It was just, he literally sticks his head in the door and go, "Hey," and it's like, fuck yeah, come on. Better late than never,
Now, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I think I've without sounding cynical, I've got to a point in life now where I realise these films aren't directed at me anymore. You know what I mean? These films are for new eyes. These films are for new people. The kind of stuff I want to watch, I'll go back and watch what I want to watch. So people that sort of like, keyboard warrior it, jump on the bandwagon, oh, it's shit, this, that, and the other. Well, just don't watch it. Just watch the stuff that you like. You know what I mean? There's no point bitching about something you didn't like it. Just don't watch it again and get over it. It's now my only concern with it was they was trying to force too many characters into it. There's just way too many characters. It didn't need that many. You know what I mean? It makes the story stifle. It has sticking points where there is too many characters and they get into trying to tell you who that character is and they don't know how to get out of it again. So it just fucking cuts. You know what I mean? It just goes boom, like while you're watching a TV show. So as far as it was, I like the overall aesthetics of it. You know what I mean? I like Paul Rudd anyway. So you know what I mean, and it's set in the Ghostbusters universe, so what is there not to like there? Could it have been better? Yeah. Could it have been worse? Fucking hell yeah, it could have been way worse. You know what I mean? So just be thankful for what you're given if you're into this kind of stuff. But like I said, the way I look at it now is this kind of stuff isn't meant for me anymore. It's meant for a younger audience to pick up and take the mantle to wherever they want to take it to. You know what I mean? That's the same that anything else coming out. It doesn't mean I dislike it just because it's not the thing I remember. And I will always watch it. You know what I mean? I will always watch new stuff. It's Christ. We went to watch Beetlejuice, and I had a whale of a time with that. You know what I mean? So there's things that can get it right. There's things that can get it wrong. I think Frozen Empire did what it needed to do. You know what I mean? It did enough fan service. It ticked the boxes. But did it need that many characters? No, I think that's its main downfall.
Lads, I want to know who had the fucking hard on for fucking the Avatar: The Last Airbender with the character who could control fire. I'm like,
yeah,
that's the only thing that didn't make it feel like a Ghostbuster movie for me. I don't know. That character just felt like
that to me that was a writing. So that felt like they got a story, they got a script, they'd sort of started fleshing it out and then just gone, something's not working. Fuck it, bring this dude in. We've wrote this character, try this out, see what this does. And like, it doesn't really work. There is no real need for him. You know what I mean? It's same with the ghost girl that she's the one that's caused all this just by being a murderer, really. You know what I mean? It's like, you're going, well, okay, she's been the one that's started all this out, but you don't really get anything from her. There's like, it's just a throwaway character. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is what it is. I think it was pretty good though. I enjoyed seeing him in it. What's his name? The British stand-up comedian. Plays a I thought. Yeah, I mean, when I first saw him on screen, I thought, I don't really know. I don't mind his stand-up, but I don't think I've ever seen him acting. And for the bit he was in it, it was enjoyable. You know what I mean? He was believable as like the tech nerd. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that whole underground sort of setup they've got where they're studying ghosts, that's kind of cool. You know, they're like using we can learn from ghosts. We don't have to store them in the containment unit.
Yeah.
We can actually study them and look at them. That's an interesting idea. Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, it didn't shit the bed overall.
Yeah, whether we get anything off the back.
It wasn't very memorable.
Yeah, it might have killed the franchise.
At the end, a bit sort of, throwaway. He's no Vigo, but just a very throwaway monster at the end.
I did like his design. I did like her because it was definitely a throwback to the animated series with the weird eyes and the horns and stuff.
Yeah. He's just not on camera for too long. He's just kind of there and then he's defeated and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Captain Adam's here. Adam, welcome.
Adam.
Yeah, I remember one VHS of the animation coming back out, on the tape. I never watched it though. But I've never seen the live action one either. I probably all on YouTube, aren't they? If I had the time.
Probably. Yeah.
But where's that other question? I should have started these. There you go. Favorite character in the franchise. This is Janosch. Command me, Lord.
He is a good character. I do like Peter. Very creepy, very sort. He just dials it up to the left. Once Vigo gets on, he's just like like this, and he's like a child.
I remember. I remember when he turned up in drag in ghost form. It scared the fucking shit out of me. Like,
fuck Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Seeing that as a kid, with the red eyes and the music.
Nice.
Oh no, that is scary. Yes, I'll admit that.
Yeah.
Goosebumps. Now.
It's covered in goo.
Goo.
No one's offended by that accent. But who is yours, Ben? If you had to pick one,
overall character. Oh my God.
Any version of Ghostbusters, 2016 included.
Just like with the animated series,
Jesus.
There's just something about Egon that I just love. I just like how he's always in the job. He's always in the, he doesn't sort of deviate from business. He's always thinking about the next bit of technology, the next sort of idea that he's got up with, collecting all the slime, and he's always working throughout the first two films. And my favourite bit of him is at the start when you see him in the library and he's like scanning stuff like on the table when Bateman comes up going and he's like, what the fuck's that?
It's like
Bateman
drilled
says
a hole in his head.
That's that time you reminded me when you had to drill that thing for your
Yeah.
head. He goes, that won't
Yeah.
stop me."
Yeah, it would have worked if he had to stop me.
Yeah, but Egon's just always a joy to listen. All the techno jargon, always business. He's always business, and Egon's the best. I like him. Yeah.
What about you, Marty?
Probably Vigo the Carpathian. Fun fact: the Vigo the Carpathian, the actor was something Hamburg German dude, right? And he was dubbed over by Max von Sydow. When he found out, he threw a fucking shit face and a half.
Though it's told, yes, yeah.
I can imagine that turning up. Not being told about it's probably the worst thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And he was in Die Hard as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a bad guy in about 50 different fucking movies.
Mountain Madness, and passed away in his 50s, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Tony?
See, I like Ray for the comic bit of kind of stuff. I like Lewis Tully for the same reason. You know what I mean? I think that the way he portrays the character is brilliant in both films. It's really, really good. But I think predominantly Ray, he's constantly full of enthusiasm, whether he fully understands what's going on or not. He's clever enough to understand, but I think his enthusiasm just runs away with him sometimes. It's like when he first buys the Ecto 1, brings it back to the fire station, and he's running through the list of parts that's wrong with the car, and you think you'd never fucking touch that, mate. It's shagged. You know what I mean?
Was Peter's trying to do hardball with a real estate agent? He comes down to
the fire pole. It's got a fire pole. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, and even when it runs into the second film and he's running the bookshop, I mean, Ray's a cult. I mean, fucking brilliant. Just absolute genius. And and he, like I say, he's so enthusiastic about everything that he's heard not to love. You know what I mean? Even when he's doing the kids entertaining, you know what I mean? He's still giving it 110%, even though he knows it's shit. He knows it's terrible, but it's 110%. He's all in. You know what I mean? So, yeah, for that, I'll give it him. He's a good character.
Yeah, I think I'd go with Venkman because he always carries Thorazine with him wherever he goes.
Yeah,
you never know when you might need that on a date. But what about there was one video game, there was an arcade game and a Game Boy game of the real Ghostbusters. Anyone play them? I played the arcade game.
Arcade game, yeah.
I had the Game Boy one.
Yeah. The arcade game, pretty sought after now. The guys over at Arcade Club at Bury have got a four-player cabinet of it. And it still holds up pretty well. It's still a pretty game. I don't think I ever played it on any home computer. I don't recall playing it on any home computer at the time.
No.
And there were Ghostbusters games, but the real Ghostbusters, I don't recall any home version.
The fucking one, the movie one that came out in the NES. I don't know about you lads, but I don't find it fun having to work to buy parts for the Ecto fucking one. Jesus Christ.
And then getting petrol as well.
Yeah.
The cans. Fuck's sake.
Yeah. So I remember playing the Commodore 64 version of the NES one, and it's pretty much the same thing, but it's not as annoying. It's like, because the Commodore 64 is like a little bit more primitive, it doesn't have as much detail. It's still the same thing, but it's slightly easier than that NES one. But still the same sort of idea. Like, you've got to drive to the building, then you've got to try and catch the ghost, set it, and then hopefully you can get enough money before Stay Puft shows up. And I never completed it on the Commodore 64, but yeah, it's a very interesting idea, that original NES title. Yeah. We've got to think of everything, like, starting a business, buying the equipment, and then you've got to catch ghosts, and then if you don't succeed, then you get charged more. I mean, it's they tried, at least.
Teaching you tax and everything.
Yeah, I mean, before those as well, there was a Atari 2600 version of it,
I've seen
footage, which is really fucking primitive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the Atari. But yeah, so how much is that arcade game cabinet then, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, God. Yeah, I mean, any four-player cabinets are crazy money now. But the guys over at Arcade Club, I mean, they've one in Bury, one in Leeds, one in Blackpool. The one in Bury is Europe's largest free-to-play arcade. It's in an old Victorian mill. It's on 3 floors. It's great. You just pay one price to get in, £15. Then you can spend as long as you want in there, and everything's on free play.
Nice.
If you ever get the option to come to this neck of the woods, it's definitely worth going. But he's got the real Ghostbusters 4-player cabinet, sort of dead center in a prime location on the 2nd floor, and it's lit up pristine. It looks fantastic.
Nice.
It is good.
There's a board game. Did anyone have the board game from
Nope.
MB Games?
MB Games, no. I mean, I've
for that. Don't remember seeing it advertised. No,
I
don't remember that one.
The thing I had from Real Ghostbusters was a jigsaw puzzle of a ghost coming out of a fucking trunk, chasing Egon across the firehouse.
It's a 3D roll and move game, similar to Ghost Castle, apparently.
All right, no, I don't know that one. And I collect all the board games, and I've never seen that one. I do have. I don't know if you guys remember when Warrington's released, sort of like there was a real Ghostbusters, there was a Turtles one, there was a G1 Transformers one. They were like a big playing card that came in a red plastic tray set that slid inside a cardboard box, and I would say they're probably A5 kind of size, and they had a picture of a character on the front. And then not too dissimilar to Top Trumps, but not as good. But there was on a big card.
Massive, man. Jesus.
I've got a set of those.
No, very nice.
That's cool.
But yeah, there wasn't much apart from the toys really for real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, which is surprising, really. You know what I mean? Because most of these things start off as a 30-minute commercial for a toy. You know what I mean? That's how the premise starts. But I don't know. It's an odd one. I mean, not every cartoon that spawns a franchise, you know what I mean, hits the mark when it comes to a toy line. There's loads that have failed. But real Ghostbusters, you can't say is it failed as a toy line, because as what was produced as the toys is like some fucking really good stuff. You know what I mean? It's so why they didn't produce a lot, I don't know. Other than it was expensive to produce, so I'm not 100% sure.
I do remember them being well made. They didn't feel cheap.
The second wave was well made, Ben. The first wave that came out, the fucking kind of proton beams.
Yeah,
easiest.
Yeah. Dead easy, didn't they?
After a while, the arms went super loose. They were 5 POA. So at the same time as well, they were competing with things like G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And they had more articulation. So I think that's what kind of hindered their longevity.
Yeah.
But apparently there was a nursery rhyme book for real Ghostbusters.
Brilliant.
Hush, hush, nobody cares. Christopher Robin has fallen downstairs. Bloody hell, it's dark.
Come on, kids, bedtime.
Upstairs to bed. Or is it ghost? I mean, that toilet ghost always worried me. The one that Marty's got there. If that's not going to scare kids.
Yeah, that's not teaching a 4-year-old how to use the lavatory, is it? You know what I mean? It's fucking scare them to death.
The only ghost figure I remember having was the police officer that turns into a skeleton.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And he looked like the cop from Moonwalker that stops Michael Jackson dancing.
That guy was a prime example of Kenner being thrifty bastards, because they used the exact same gimmick for a T-1000 figure, except instead of a regular skeleton was a T-800 skeleton.
It's almost the same sort of design, you know, like a crash helmet, sunglasses, beige trousers, black boots. And
just falls forward.
That's it.
Typical. But I think, remember the scary ones come out where you press a button and they go, and their eyes pop out and their mouth.
Yeah, fright features.
Yes. But I don't think I actually owned any. We were poor in my house. But now Marty's got most of them now.
I've got a good few. I got annoyed because some dude, I had bought figures off him on eBay, and then he cancelled sending them to me. So I'm guessing he fucking looked up how much he was selling a big flake of them for like 50 quid. And then I got a message from him, I'm having trouble with my account. I'll have to take these down. I was like, you prick. But, some of these were good. Again, I just
hang on,
a fucking mailman just
that's
that's lame.
But to get in that toy, I used to flush the toilet and leg it to the bedroom because I thought the flushing sound was the toilet growling at me.
That was one thing. I think they missed the beat in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire with the Possessor Ghost. I was hoping that thing would go into a toilet and turn into fearsome flush. But it didn't. That would have been awesome.
Oh, there's the wallpaper in the background, literally. Anyone have the wallpaper, bedspreads, or anything?
No.
No. They surely to God though, the single duvet cover's got to be in an Argos catalogue somewhere. You know what I mean?
I didn't see it, but I don't know if it's a catalogue.
Must be
boxes or there's invest in Ghostbusters. Let's go back in time and do that.
I mean, there's one thing that I can show off here. It's the Lego X1.
Don't drop it.
These are all my wife's ones. We've got the bigger one in the spare room. I'm not going to pick that up because it's too delicate and too fragile.
This is like the smaller one.
Yeah, this is the smaller one, and we've also got the Lego Firehouse as well. That's on a shelf.
Cool.
Yeah, I would I'm not going to pick it up.
Go on. Just for the views.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, of all the companies, Playmobil put out some of the best.
Yeah, they did.
Ghostbuster stuff.
Yeah. It's bizarre. We was at a vintage shop a couple of weeks back that's close to us, and one of the sellers in there had like the complete Playmobil set, Firehouse, Ecto 1 characters, everything.
Yeah. So here's the little
cool.
figures. Yeah.
Is that the 2016 ones?
No, it's not. The original,
Could
yeah.
be.
They got the packs on the back.
Oh, hang on, we got the back.
Very good. Quite a little detail, yeah. So, yeah.
Nice.
So in terms of Lego stuff,
Oops, that's me. Get him off.
get it, yeah. And that Firehouse is an absolute beast. I remember when I bought that for her. It's so heavy in that box. I literally couldn't put it in a bag. I had to lift it through the shopping centre. Some kid was looking at me. He's like,
I like that.
Mine, kid.
Oh, there you go. Movie Master had the bedspread, the dinner table, the lunchbox, the PJs. I think he was a fan.
Actually, I probably did have a lunchbox. Now you mention it. Must have had.
I am looking at the lunchboxes. I do remember them. I don't know if I had one though.
Yeah, I'm sure I would have had at least one.
A teenager by then.
Yeah.
You know that the thermos had the symbol on it. You just know that I didn't even have one, but I know for a fact the symbol was definitely on the thermos.
Yeah, I can see it there. Yeah, there's red thermos, there's white thermos, and they both got the symbol present.
Yeah, because there was only two companies in the UK that were producing themed lunchboxes like that. There was Thermos, and the other company was Bluebird.
Yes, I can see that. I can see Thermos, their big label.
Yeah.
Oh, and the sticker albums, of course.
Mm.
I didn't have a sticker album, but I seem to remember one. Collect bloody stickers. Robin.
Yeah, I was obsessed with Topps trading cards at that particular time. There was a big thing. I was never really into the sticker collecting, but Topps cards, for some bizarre reason, you couldn't do fuck all with them, really, could you? Apart from stack them all and wrap them in elastic bands. You know what I mean? It was like, what else are you going to do with them? But Topps cards are cool. I wish I'd still had them. You know what I mean? Because like, just go for extortionate money now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's,
yes.
but I have a couple of weird pieces. I've got the US Cinemark popcorn bucket slime. See if I can grab it without it falling in pieces.
Oh, come on. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
So,
abort. He's frozen.
That fucking Indiana Jones and Raiders.
Nice.
That's good. That's nice. I like that.
That's a nice make, isn't it? They made
the eyes are very well. I mean, the shape and the eyes look very spot on. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got the teeth and the face for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a really cool piece.
That's the flashlight.
Weird question. I probably not, because we're all from the other side of the pond. Did anyone ever try that Ecto Cooler?
I keep hearing about that.
No.
So there's a thing with Ecto Cooler that you can still get it now, but it's Ecto Cooler was just the brand that High C were using, so you can still buy the same. Ecto Cooler was basically High C, but with a green food coloring in it. So you can, so if you can get a High C orange juice in cartons, exactly the same.
Right.
Okay.
Does it make you hyperactive like it did in the 80s?
Yeah, well, I would imagine they've took all that crap out of it, aren't they? 27E numbers, and you know what I mean. It's but yeah, Ecto Cooler. I mean, I think for the release of Afterlife, they did a limited edition run, a collector's run that had 2 cartons of Ecto Cooler, a bottle of Ecto Cooler, and something else that was in a like a metal tin ghost trap. So you know what I mean. There is still stuff popping out. You know what I mean. There was UK. We never really got into that kind of stuff, did we, over here? And I don't know why. You know what I mean. They promoted everything else to kids, but a couple of years back, I think that might have been for Afterlife. They released some. They were like, you know, a Tunnocks tea cake. You know, so the marshmallow covered in chocolate with like a crumbly biscuit base.
Yeah.
They did some Ghostbusters ones of those, but they did a Slimer edition, so the marshmallow was green. and then a Marshmallow Man edition where the marshmallow was white. I did have the boxes for those.
If anyone wants to as well, this is part of that line. Hasbro had the license to Kenner, so they re-released the original figure line, the original Ghosts, and the second Flight Features wave. And you can also get the Ecto one, which looks fucking nice, although they don't use the fucking steel chrome on the wheels, which I'm pissed about. But, you can still, if you want to go back and relive your childhood, Hasbro have them released as well.
Yeah.
I remember when Ghostbusters 2 came out, they had cans of ghosts. It was like a tiny can, and it had a ghost in it. And of course, if you open it, nothing happened. There was nothing in it. If Ghost was invisible and just disappeared.
Yeah. But, just trying to think of anything else exclusive. I mean, I don't think it's any more.
No, there was nothing.
There you go. And the Laserdisc behind me, that's pretty much the only other sort of exclusive format that's, I know it's, because there's no way that it's going to come back to the Criterion Collection. There's no way it will be reissued on 4K or Blu-ray in the Criterion Collection. I mean, can you imagine if that happened? It won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, someone said it's gone from the film's a PG, it's now a 12. The cartoon has gone from a U to a PG. Which one's yours, Doc?
Yeah, so the
it is.
believe
It's 12, yes. on the steelbook, yeah, it's 12, yes. Yeah.
So the VHS was a U, but then the same thing when it came to DVD was a PG.
Yeah, crazy.
Tony at the same time, man. Fucking Watership Down came out in the UK, and that was a fucking U.
Yes.
What Christ, Watership Down. There's an artist friend, there's an artist guy that we know has just done the artwork for the 4K release of Watership Down. And we was at a convention, Thought Bubble, in Harrogate last weekend. And not only did he have a limited edition print, he also had what looked to be like a 6 foot by 3 foot blanket of Watership Down. So there's nothing I like more than winter months is covering myself up in dead rabbits. You know what I mean? Fucking a Watership Down blanket. What the fuck what's the world come to?
Bloody hell. Wow, you see, Ian says, how many people want a Melissa McCarthy toy figure? Well, they might go for silly money now because people just bin them. That might be the rarest of all toys. That's how he got Movie Massacre got it through re-release of the toys, yeah.
Yeah.
But
which is you know what I mean? It's a good way of doing it because, like I said before, fucking nostalgia taxes. You know what I mean? On secondary market sites, just want a kidney and a spleen off you, don't they? You know what I mean? So when this kind of stuff comes round, fucking buy it. Buy retro pack stuff. Don't be bothered about buying re-release stuff if it's something that you like. You know what I mean? It stops fucking scalpers and fucking dickheads on eBay charging shitloads of money for something.
That's very true. Yes.
Robin says. The bootleg Ghostbusters toy, Spook Chasers. Anyone have those?
Oh, I don't remember those.
No idea what they are.
I think I remember Spitballs. I don't know if they were real Ghostbusters or normal Ghostbusters. I found in a charity shop, but I didn't. For some reason, I didn't keep them. Well, that was 20 years ago. But
yeah, what was the ghost called that you pulled his eye out on a string?
Eye popper. It was
Eye popper. Yeah, well, he made an appearance in Afterlife.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
That's a plague dog's bed spread.
Jesus Christ, man. God. Melancholy ahoy.
Be up there next going, well, if we're going to them, lads, when the wind blows, we'll have one of those. You know what I mean? It's like...
let's do a Treads fucking blanket while we're out, lads.
Oh, God.
Threads baby in a pushchair. Toy for all the girls. Right. Marty, have you got anything to end this on? We'll go around and say what you thought about it.
It was just awesome chatting to you lads. You're fucking kick ass, and it's just nice to shoot the shit because not many people nowadays talk about the real Ghostbusters. It's
that is true, yes.
It kind of sucks.
It did.
Yeah.
Tony?
Yeah, I mean, for me, as my love of this kind of stuff goes, it's probably in the top 3. It holds up that well. And like I said before, a lot of this stuff doesn't hold up. I'm just looking at this through fucking nostalgic tinted glasses. You know what I mean? But this is a show that really, really holds up where a lot don't. There's a lot of rewatch value in it. There's stuff that you notice constantly on rewatch that you've probably not noticed the first time round. And like I say, it's so well written. It's well animated. It's well voice acted. It's a joy to watch it. You know what I mean? Because it fits in the timeline, and not everything that spawned a cartoon from a toy line or a film or whatever normally fits in around something. They normally try and make something fit just to sell something. This doesn't. You know what I mean? It goes into the universe complete. It's really, really good. And like I say, it's definitely in my top 3.
Yeah,
nice. What about Ben?
Yeah, pretty much what Tony said. It's a lot of people have forgotten about it. I think it's in that realm of Saturday morning cartoons, and it is one of the best. But not many people put it in their top 10s. When you see videos on YouTube, people sort of rating this stuff. And as you said, they made a real good effort to try and make some really good stories and not just sell toys. They wanted to actually make a really good follow-up to the original film, and I think they did a good job. And having gone back and watched a few of them recently, it still holds up. There's a lot of creativity, some cool ghosts. You get to see Ecto 1 and the Proton Packs do different things. They've got the helicopter. We haven't even mentioned that.
Yeah. Ecto
2. And maybe Afterlife and Frozen Empire took a bit of that by introducing new devices that they can use to catch ghosts. And it's one of the best. And more people should know about it. And I hope that we can sort of tell people, hey, get it out on YouTube, because there's tons of episodes on there officially. It's not just some random guy that's just uploaded them. They're officially uploaded by Sony. So definitely check it out. Yeah, you'll be surprised. Yeah,
that's nice. So Bob of course here, and he's got a Slimer plush toy from 1984 that says Ghost Hunters on it. That's worth 50p, but I'll give you £1.
Yeah.
Can't imagine anyone having a use for that.
You never know. It could be considered kitsch, like Robert Cop.
Yeah.
If I can.
Sounds like a knockoff one. You got it. But we'll say, Ian says, I think Real Ghostbusters was cool because it didn't feel like didn't talk down to kids. It felt like it was made for teenagers. There we go. And then one last thing. Well, we've had great show, guys. It's great seeing people share their love for the cartoon. Well, thanks, Movie Massive, for joining us. If you said you like it and you like us, and you're a fan of the show, we must have done something right tonight. So there we go. So thanks to my guests, Marty, Tony, Ben, and then we'll see what we'll do next time. Next year, probably now. But take care, everyone.
Thank you.
See you later, everybody.
Bye.
All right.
Ciao.
Good night. Nothing out going into